Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the back garden yard fall edition. That's right, it's now fall, but the garden is still booming. That's right. So we're going to go out and we're going to check out the garden, and then we're going to go and transplant some of the young fall leafy vegetables that I have. We're going to transplant them into the back because they came up too thick, like cabbage and lettuce. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to prepare the ground and then do that. But first, I would like to say thank you to all 2,000 subscribers that have subscribed to this channel. That's right, we passed the 2,000 subscriber milestone now, and I would just like to give y'all a big old thanks. When I started this, I had no idea if it'd be successful or not, but I think people like the idea of plowing up a spot in your backyard, planting your little garden, and growing your own food without all the expense of all those fancy raised beds and all the other things I have seen that cost so much money to get started. In the back garden yard, you can just go out, plow up your spot, and plant your garden. So with that said, let's go see what's going on in the fall garden. So today is September the 29th, and these fall leafy vegetables were planted on September the 5th. And they need a little water now. This is the purple Korean mustard. This is the red romaine lettuce. And you can see we're getting some red in the leaves, and you can also see they're planted way too close together. These are some of the ones we're going to move. And while we're over here, we'll take a look at the Korean eggplants, or Asian eggplants, I guess you could call them. And they're looking fine. Need to pick those. Of course, the okra is still here, and the okra is still bearing. And we got nice okra, and I did a video earlier on tying up these for seeds on the okra, and they're still here looking good, but it's still going to take at least another month before these are ready to harvest the seeds. And then this is the cabbage, and this cabbage is the Napa cabbage that Asians make the kimchi out of. And then I did a video back in August of how to clean pick them so you would get a late crop of peppers. Now you can see the results as I've got peppers. I mean, I have got peppers. So I've got peppers. These are sweet Asian peppers, and I've also got nice bell peppers, just tons of them. They quit blooming now, but that's fine because they're really not going to have time to put on some more. And then of course I've got the orange peppers that are turning. So over here it's a bok choy, and I planted that on September 5th. We ate some last night. It was delicious. Over here are mustard greens, and that's the greens we've got so far. But we'll head on back to the back garden where we're going to do our work today. First though, I'll show you, this is one of the astringent persimmon trees, and they are now starting to get ripe. You cannot rush an astringent persimmon, because if you do, your mouth will pucker if you've ever eaten a persimmon before it was ripe. But that one right there and this one right here are just about ripe. So it's about time to pick those. And you can tell once they get almost translucent in color. And again, and then over here are what we call fuyu persimmons. And as soon as they turn a little more orange, you can eat these, and they're non-astringent. They're kind of tasteless if you eat them too soon, so I like to let them get a little more orange than this. And I did a video on the jujube tree, and there's still some nice jujubes on here, just a few left. We've picked a lot, dried a lot. This was a really nice crop of jujubes. That is so good. But now we're back where we're going to do our work today. And there is back here in the very back garden. And I planted, and you may be able to just see them coming up, some lettuce. That's some more of the red romaine lettuce. The little green specks you see here are lettuce. And then these are radishes on the side in those two rows and on this row. And then in the middle is where I'm going to transplant that cabbage. As you can see, we're getting plenty of nice sun here. And I've already made the spots. I've already used the evergreen compost and manure and some 10-10-10 in these rows. So I'm going to mix it up. Then I'm going to wet them down and get them ready to transplant. I don't want to transplant yet in the middle of the day because there's too much stress on the plant. So I like to give them overnight before they get the stress of the sun. So that's where we're at right now, and we will be back. So all I'm going to do to prepare for these transplants is in this row, I've already put the cow manure and the 10-10-10, and now I'm just going to mix it in, and I'm going to make a very deep, sharp row. Like that. Okay, and I'll make one more just to show you. And that's it. Notice there's a lot of organic material on the side, and that's what we want. Now I'm going to take the hose and flood the rows. Okay, those two rows are ready for transplanting, and I will do the rest of the rows that way, but we will be back when we're ready to go dig up the plants and before we bring them over here. I'll just go ahead and get the rest of the rows ready. Okay, so here's the first part that I just did, and the water has sunk down in, and that's just mud there, and that's ready to plant. Same here, and then here are the other 7 rows that I'm bringing the cabbage down to plant in. They're still full of water, but they'll soak it up by the time I'm ready to plant, which will be in an hour or two as the day gets more late. So anyway, I will be back. We're going to first go over and I'm going to show you how to prepare the plants that are too close together for transplanting. I'm only going to put 2 plants in each of these rows because the snapper cabbage gets huge. So I'm kind of staggering, put 2 plants, so I've got room for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 plants. And that's what we'll bring over here is 18 plants to transplant out of that other patch. Okay folks, so we're back and we're going to transplant some plants now. So we're going to start with this cabbage, and here you can see I've got them way too close together. This is a double plant, that's a single, and this is the one I want to stay. So what we're going to do is we're going to just try to not disturb the one that's staying as much as possible. Dig down behind the ones we're taking, and I got it good and wet. And then we're going to pull both of them at once up and put them in about 3 inches of water. Now why are we putting them in 3 inches of water? Because we want them to stay moist, and we're going to use the water to separate the roots. Now I've got a big hole right there. I'm going to fill that in somewhat. When I'm finished, I'll re-water. So now we've got a nice plant spaced out. Okay, we're going to come over here. I'm needing 20 plants out of here. So here I've got, there's a nice little plant that's being shaded out. So we'll start by taking it. Once again, just going down under it, digging the whole thing out, dropping it in the water. Okay, we're going to come over here. I can see there's a nice plant there, and it's got a little one beside it. There's another one over here. You can't get them all sometimes. You just have to sacrifice one. But I'm going to try to get both of these. Coming up into the water. Okay, now I've got this one and into the water. Okay, let's go plant these. Okay, now we're keeping in mind that we don't want to make the plant so deep in that trench that if it rains and floods it will actually drown. So what we're going to do is just kind of put it up on top of the soil, make a little hole, and then pull the soil around to get it near the top of the trench. So let's give that a try. So to separate these plants, remember we threw all the mud in there. Usually if you just grab one now, it'll come out separate, and it did. And you want to get all the weeds you can away from it, and you got that dirt ball. And so let's just take it over here, make a little indentation, and then pull this up around it like so, like so, like so. Now we can pull dirt around, support the whole thing. We'll give it a shot of water. And we'll be watering them all with the hose later on. We got one in there. We're gonna come down here and get another one. Pulling down on the bottom. And we see there's not a lot of root there on that. Big old plant, just a little bit of root, but we're going to try it. Right here. Put that root in there. Pull the dirt up around it. And give it some water. All right, we're going for number 3. Let's see if I can move the camera back for number 3. Okay, and we're just gonna reach in there. And once again, see, that's why you do it. The dirt washed off, separated. And now we got to go along root, but I didn't have to put any pressure on it. Same thing, digging it up, putting it in, support it, and water it. Try not to fill up the inside where the new leaves are coming. Alright, so that row is finished. And then we're going to try the next row. Now, I think I mentioned it before, cabbage is not known for transplanting well. And I think you see why. Because you can't get a really good root ball to plant. Get your cabbage transplanted and then take care of it. But once they've been here a day or two, you'll never know it. And then the same way to transplant the lettuce, which I'm going to do down at the end. But the lettuce transplant is so much better than cabbage. It's just it adapts very well to transplanting. So anyway, once this is all done, I will turn the camera back on and show you the results. Okay folks, the job is finished. We have got the entire back garden yard planted in cabbage and radishes. Here's the radishes. And the cabbage goes all the way down behind that stump. I decided not to plant any more lettuce back here because I've got lettuce coming up from seeds back here. It'd be kind of silly to transplant it. So as I thin the front patch, I will just eat what I thinned. And that's the way we're going to do it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Got plenty more videos coming this fall and winter. And then it'll be a new year. And we're going to have a really nice lineup next year for the back garden yard. So please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.